I can never swear to God, but then I promise you that this is what I'm actually telling you the truth, that it is me, that I promise that if it could ever be, then everlasting, that I will never try to be whatever you believe I can in clear eyes and bounce off the sky, that I record whatever that I still need to extract, exorcist, make star of the hard, that whatever the red versus blue, that it exalt the sky, whatever. Oh my God, what do you have to exalt? What patient is? It isn't over time, and it is time, and then I cannot breathe. Please, God, would you ever be decisive to me whenever I knock on the door of gatekeeper of the whatever it would ask me what I ask it, but whatever it decided and judged me before I entered God's heavenly gate. I still can, whatever, if my voice can ever be higher or lower or medium or octaves high and low, whatever, I can be a stadium. But as the exalt, whatever, I have the clear air and the fighting. If I fight over and over again, whatever of the nails in my hand that you could take from me, or whatever, left and right, east to west, north, south, whatever, heaven and hell, whatever, and then I still decide, and if I can, and then I can be whatever, so I'm alone until I exalt thee. Lost in the other poems that I can never, like, until I whatever, like, until I have thousands of pounds of metal, then I thousands of pounds to feathers, whatever I can stand, whatever I can, and then I with a perpetual intellect that I can stand like tools of geniuses, and then if I am genius, then whatever. But the truth is that whatever is still, and then I am still not genius and special and whatever that can be and can't. I still cannot connect to contemplating the whatever stories that I am the truth or lie, seeds of both good and evil. If I am in a battle, then whatever them both is, I can actually see in the end or in the middle or in the beginning, whatever it caught on, or to my eye, the enemy that they have to be caught, and then the final stance that is I, whatever, but whatever, like, I can finally catch, but I can never catch, but I have to catch it whenever, or I am dead, like down a hill on a cruiser, but like sliding onto like skin on the whatever it is, the pavement of the concrete, then it is the air, that how fast it is. And then whatever the permanent of the miracle, if I am to stay here, then it is the beyond the get I will be showered of the die that I haven't yet not seeing, and the you and the later. Whatever it is I cannot be, then if whatever I can actually stay haunting, if you the whatever kingdom, and if the lost poem, like I said before, the grim and the fairy tale and the hearts and the whatever I have to say, and that is falling into like a fruit into justice, that is the God telling us to be fruitful. If a vegetable that I am, then in my brain, the airhead, like a fart brain, and then the still lights that I am lost in the passion that you are contemplating into what I am, and then which you are I can swear into the I 2 owls that are owling over in one tree, like they will follow always in bliss, like arms low, like hours that are there with each other, that they can only be in hours. If I were to ever be one day, and then another day would have to be a week, and then the week would another week, and then weeks on and weeks, and never can be a month, and then never can be a year. If weeks beyond the day will steal back yesterday, then I too will have a place in whatever how many of the 4 months that I cannot find 1 month after. And then would be complete like a hand, or be back like I know you, like from the back of mine. But wherever I believe you can, and you're halfway there, and tripling, the quadrupling. But I'm so glad to know that if ever, whatever, I've decided to be the hero and then not the villain. If I can ever stand, like, whatever you want to be, and then I am the hero, and then, like, the good versus evil, and not the villain, whatever, standing over you as you lay down, and as I am standing over you and about to attack, but rather than I am on the bottom, and then the ship is going down. But then when I stand there, when I'm ready, when I am laying down with you over me, then I can jump up and actually then attack with the best of my spirit and goodwill. If whatever was saving a life, that I would jump off something that is hovering and find you and then cover you and climb up to whatever that is hovering with you. Could you ever be like so gallantly with off the horse and get back onto the saddle again? And then, but I had already saved you before, and I'll come back for you, I promise, after in the life, the next or this life. If there was best friends of God, like whatever, like in the whatever, the Bible, whatever, seeing whatever, and whatever it is, still, I can be whatever I want to be, and then with you, you can never be whatever you want to be. And still find energy and guide you until wondering what is underwater and above water and in the shores and the sea of a riptide. If you can't be decisive, and then into a plant, and then you can plant a seed of whatever seed, if that is good or evil in my head, and the recesses of my mind can never be like this in this recording that is cannot be. If you decide whether or not the ceiling is blue or red, or even red and yellow, then came to be, then the sky was red and the clouds, that means blood has spilled this night. Then this night is not even full of brightness in the sky, but the day is not full of darkness and whatever that is coming into the bottom, that is the sea of this ship going down like a Titan that has come before us, sailing off into the sunset, and whatever the sunset may have on the bottom or above, the sunset is going to and where it came from. I promise into the horizon that I seen whatever I can be coming back. If you were the one that I had to save, then you were the one that I have to be and to save, and then I can jump up and be who I need to be. And when the final yell and scream that I had seen you dead and not alive, that into my hands covering the place with red and the grass then coming up and green, like as I'm screaming into the light bearing all over, coming up and down, left and right, then this grass and this flowers that grow into what it is that you have left behind. And I am now screaming for you to become alive, as it is known that to me that it can never be. What will happen if I told you that I loved you? If I love you, then would you become alive? And then what the scream happened to be what I wanted you to be, and is to everlasting. Be with me and your eyes open and look at me, even if it was one last time in the last breath. If I could ever see whatever I want to be in the jumping from a planet to another, if it was to get to you, then I finally knew that what happened, what I was already saying and thinking, it had already happened and will happen. I knew what it would be and that it would happen, and that's that I know that you had bring life and life everywhere with your power, and my power was to fight alongside with you, protecting you, and the only you. And I find to myself the destruction, and I scream because I had found you laying there, and then I have found you. I find to stand against the ready, whatever had did this, I would take a final flash into whatever I have done, and that is the scream. If I had a sunset on the horizon, then would you believe me if the guiding of my energy would have exalted your energy costing of how many money, if it can never be the books I have read in this library that I can find underneath the ground in a temple that is covered by an owl that it is covering and protecting. If there was 2 owls, then what would you say that if I had read one book and it was sacred, or this sacred, and it's so sacred that it was not possible to read, and if it was possible, then would it have been something that you could not have ever read and not allowed to? If whatever I want to be, and I can see whatever Helix, the Kingdom of the Hearts and the Lost, and the other poems that I said earlier that I could never read, if what this owl would jump out until if it is so white and clear that it had another, then whatever this light with this lamp that I covered into this dark forest and its path was lost, And I find that I had a sown everything that I have sinned all over me, as a cross, or even on my chest down to my belly. And whatever each phase, each thing that is sewn on, it was a story that I said to itself. And I promised that I was a fighter, that I took the Grim Reaper's scythe and sliced and over into the demons until I got into heaven at the end, after behind the devil's back in the frozen lake that it was stuck in. If I could see like beyond a warrior's death, like into a Valhalla, Stala, whatever called, when it is my mother, rather than this place and this face that I kind of call this race, that is a place that is rather than a cross than an upside down wrinkle like of stink that is whatever that it is whatever. But the Bible says that if I can find my place in the genesis of both Adam and Eve, maybe that was what they ate, and also that they couldn't, that it should become the devil, that it was riding on the ground like a serpent on its belly. What is on my belly is a story that it goes up and then into a cross on my chest. Is it a river, or is it a place that I found in the dark forest that the path was lost, and I took a scythe and I tried my hardest to please you, and even make you see me, or even protect you as I was fighting alongside your thoughts and mind and your passion of emotions, that when you saw me would do whatever I did, and what if I could find, and whatever I find myself wanting to be just like the demons, I couldn't find myself demons crawling up on me and falling me down, like whatever, forever, like and everlasting. And if I cannot find you, Goofy, and I was the one that was finding you in the lost and found. But whatever I could see, whatever had I find, whatever I can think of outside of my mind, on the top of my head, that flew by and I had to catch it. But I would promise you right now, right here, right now, that what I am telling you was not ever written down. But if it was written down, then I promise that I would stutter just like I have always been on everything that I've ever said. But whatever, if you could find the marvel into whatever I'm recording this time, and then I would stutter, and then I wouldn't even talk straight. And then what I have to do, my teeth grinding, my lips mumbling, and my voice humming down as I could be, and never I would have seen. I don't ever realize that my mind is set into a universe that I can jump into a portal and find myself into a new place and time. I have tried so hard. I have landed face down on the concrete, my belly flat, like to what I've tried my hardest to be and become, and that is to be in an adventure and a journey and find you there. Oh lover, oh loved one that I can find, but that is not here so special, the one I've always dreamt of, the one that is perfect for me, the one that I deserve and trust. But I found you, and in the end, when I finally found you, I always heard you in my mind. I always knew you were there. I found you laying there, and I couldn't save you. But if I saved you, would you rather find yourself in love with me? Would you find yourself ever involved with me? But I fly to you, and from all the adventure and all that I have taken down, all that it was want to take down, the wall that I crush and blow, breaking barriers for you, I find my scream in the final flash of this defeat that I call win. And then when I win, I am not there anymore. I promise you that I was with you, and that we become love, that this enemy would be destroyed and we would be together, and both victory on to victory. And if I find myself if the power that I ever find power just like this, maybe this would happen. But if it doesn't happen, then I promise I'm remorse to the sound, and I would follow into you, that maybe one day that this would be like my marriage, or like in reality I couldn't find myself in reality, then the fiction that it is was standing in the 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's over and end.